Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Eldana Lewis Fernandez.
Eldana Lewis Fernandez, Master Sergeant, United States Air Force, retired. Come on, bring it! Give the veterans some love, especially in Veterans Park. How would you like to command that kind of respect when you walk into a room? You don't have to join the military to do it, but you may have to make some changes. I'm a change expert for women who want to eliminate the limiting beliefs in their life. How many of you would like to have more influence? Anybody? Yeah, well, I help women walk in their authentic power and become leaders. How many of you would like to negotiate better deals? Yeah? Well, I teach women how to ask for exactly what they want or need and have more self-confidence and negotiate more balance in their lives. It's all about taking control of the handlebars of your life and rolling on your throttle to accelerate towards success. Does that sound like something you guys want? Yeah. Awesome, well, we're going to do it right now. So I want everybody to do is you're going to get on your imaginary Harley and you're going to grab your handlebars. Now your right hand is your throttle hand, so you got to roll on your throttle on the count of 3. However, in order to roll on your throttle, you got to make that Harley rumble, and it kind of sounds like this. Boom, 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 boom. So on the count of 3, we're going to grab our handlebars and roll on our throttle. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah! Give yourselves a round of applause. Pretty cool stuff, right? But we're not here to talk about all the cool stuff that I do. We're here to talk about something far more serious. Something that's affecting women across this country and around the world. I'm talking about domestic violence. Laura Ingalls Wilder said, "The uplift of a fearless heart will help us over barriers. No one ever overcomes difficulties by going at them in a hesitant, doubtful manner." I'd like to share a story with you about one woman's difficulties. This woman comes home from a long day at work. As she puts the key into the lock, she takes a deep breath, shuts off her emotions. As she walks into the house, she sees the glazed look in her husband's eyes and the beer cans tossed about. The house has a stale smell of beer, like that of an old bar, and she can feel her husband's angry eyes glaring at her as she walks into the room. She ignores his angry glare, and the knot in her stomach grows bigger. Her chest gets tight, and her breathing becomes labored. As the night goes on, they begin to argue, and it escalates. She works hard not to say the wrong thing, but it doesn't matter what she says. He's like a time bomb set to blow. In his anger, he rips the phone out of the wall. She ducks and runs away as the phone crashes into the couch and shatters into a million little pieces. He chases her into the next room and slams her up against the wall and uses her face, her body, and her arms as a punching bag. She cries out in pain and he commands her to shut up. She can't shut up. She's hurt. She's afraid. She fears for her life. He decides he will shut her up as he puts his hands around her throat and squeezes until she is silent. The next morning, when she wakes up, she finds herself on the floor. The first thing she notices is that her body aches all over. She drags herself to the bathroom. When she looks in the mirror, she sees 2 black eyes, huge purple bruises all over her body. What she does not see is the beauty and strength deep inside of her. She doesn't see it because she doesn't believe it. What she believes is that she is worthless, that she deserves it. So she puts on the heavy makeup and the long sleeve clothing to cover the physical marks on her body. She goes to work and never says a word. She suffers in silence. This isn't fiction. It's not a scene from a violent movie. It's an actual real-life experience that happened to me. Are you shocked? You may be thinking, I don't look the type. I'm intelligent, accomplished, confident. See, the faces of domestic violence come from all walks of life. It could be your neighbor, your coworker, your boss, or even a friend. This reality will affect 1 out of 3 women in their lifetime. Hundreds of thousands of women go through this each and every day. And what's worse is, children that grow up in a reality like this more likely become abusers or be abused themselves. Many people ask the question, why does she stay? Why doesn't she just leave? Sounds like a simple solution, right? Just leave. Nobody in their right mind would take that abuse. That's exactly right. Nobody in their right mind. I wasn't in my right mind. My mind was paralyzed, and I was traumatized. I was afraid of leaving and afraid of staying. Afraid of being alone. Afraid I had no other choice to take it because I felt worthless. So many women. For me, the abusive relationships went on for many, many years. I didn't see that strong, powerful, confident woman in the mirror looking back at me. And then one day, when yet another abusive relationship was coming to an end, I found myself staring in the mirror. This time I saw something different. I saw the problem looking back at me. The problem was me. I was taking a back seat in my own life and letting other people steer my path. That was the most painful time of my life. Because I realized I'd done this to myself my entire life. I sank down to the ground and I had to take a step through each and every one of those moments and take responsibility for them all. I cried for 6 months. I was in so much pain I could barely get out of bed every day. My kids would find me in a heap on the floor sobbing for hours. But because I realized I was the problem, I also realized I was the solution. That I was the only one. Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Woo! I was the only one that could do the work to heal. Nobody else could do it for me. And I was willing to do whatever it took, because it had gone on far too long. The next phase I went through, I call my sewer experience. How many of you, by a show of hands, have ever seen the movie The Shawshank Redemption? It's a story about Andy Dufresne, who was wrongfully imprisoned for a murder he didn't commit. For almost 20 years, he chipped away at the wall of his cell until he got to the sewer system. And then he had to crawl through 500 yards of the nastiest, most foul-smelling, disgusting sludge and muck you could ever imagine in order to get to freedom. Can you even imagine how disgusting that must have been? That's exactly what it took for me. I had to crawl through the sewer of my own traumatic life in order to get to the freedom I know today. I started with an intensive 15-month group program that dealt with the effects of growing up and living with alcoholics and drug addicts. I then got certified in neuro-linguistic programming, which taught me how to transform my way of thinking, feeling, and believing. I had massage, acupuncture, chiropractic care, and any other form of healing modality to heal my body. I worked with counselors, pastors, coaches, and took a multitude of workshops in order to heal my mind and spirit. I worked hard on that woman in the mirror until the woman I saw looking back at me was the strong, powerful, confident, beautiful woman you see standing before you today. said, the secret to life isn't about what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens to you. We all have the power to transform our lives by transforming who we are, what we feel, and how we steer our path. It wasn't until I learned how to value myself and changed who I believed I was, what I believed I could do, that I changed my own life. Oprah Winfrey said, if you're willing to do the work, you'll eventually become what I call a woman who is in complete possession of herself. I chose to walk in my authentic power, to eliminate those limiting beliefs, to have more influence in my life, and to negotiate a better deal for myself. How many of you want that for your life too? Woo! It's available to all of us. In my journey to transform my life, I became the pink biker chick. A Harley riding bad biker chick, military veteran girly girl who loves pink. Go pink! Pink's not just a color, it's an attitude. You don't have to wear pink to be pink. Pink comes from within. And as I was developing the pink biker chick, I started thinking about what needed to change in my life so I'd never return to that place of abuse. I needed to change my rules of engagement. In the military, rules of engagement determine when, where, and how force will be applied. I developed the Go Pink rules of engagement to have women be able to live a life where they could apply positive force and express their confidence and power. Do you want to hear what they are? Well, then give me a vroom vroom. Awesome. So the Go Pink rules of engagement are: rule number 1, turn negative self-talk to powerful self-talk. What that means is changing that little voice in your head that says, can't do that, I'm not good enough, young enough, rich enough, to a voice that says, I'm awesome, I can do anything, go pink! Rule number 2, release all resentment. Resentment is the poison we take that we think kills others, but it really kills our spirit. Rule number 3, surround yourself with people that hold you to a higher standard, not people who bring you down. That's right. That means that your inner circle of friends need to be those people that support your goals and dreams and give you encouragement. Rule number 4, take positive action towards your goals and dreams. Dreams without action are just fantasies. In order for your dreams to come to fruition, you need to take action, even if you don't know how. There's somebody that'll know how to help you. All you have to do is ask. The key is to take the action. Apply these rules of engagement to your life and you will be on your way to steering yourself towards success. So we're here today to talk about stomping out domestic violence. So what's the solution to ending domestic violence? Hang on. The solution may shock you. The solution is not to get the woman out of the situation. You can take the woman out of the situation, but the situation will still be in the woman. Unless you change that image she sees in the mirror, she's destined to repeat the abuse over and over and over again, just like I did. The solution is to change her rules of engagement. Change that image she sees in the mirror. Change her limiting beliefs to powerful ones, all the other things that kept her down in that abuse to begin with. So, what I want everybody to do right now is we're going to take a stand for that woman who's still out there afraid and alone, and we're going to get right back on our Harley like we did in the beginning, and we're going to roll on the throttle to success until she can do it for herself. So everybody get on your Harley again, and I want to hear you really loud and have them hear you way the heck down the street. On the count of 3, I want to hear you make that noise. 1, 2, 3. Boom, 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 boom. Let me hear you louder. Boom. Woo! Give yourselves a round of applause for standing for that woman who's still out there alone and afraid until she's ready to accelerate her throttle herself. In closing, I heard it said that domestic violence is America's hidden war, and the battleground is in our homes. Today we take a stand to stomp out domestic violence so the war is no more. I'm Eldana Lewis Fernandez, Master Sergeant, United States Air Force retired, and pink biker chick extraordinaire, empowering you to take control of the handlebars of your life, stomp out domestic violence, and go pink!
Eldana Lewis Fernandez, ladies and gentlemen. Another nice round of applause for our keynote speaker. Thank you, Eldana.